What's happening, Internet fam? So it is a very hot day down here in Encinitas. It is crazy. Like, I used to live here years ago, and I'm living here again, so I'm very familiar with the area. But I don't ever recall it being this hot this often. I mean, it is really, really, really hot. It's so hot the water's hot. Like, I think the ocean water right now is 76 degrees, which is just a crazy temperature for the ocean to be. Man, I look tired. I am tired. I've been putting in a lot of work trying to compile evidence and get everything ready for this trial on the 23rd. Pretty much everything's riding on this trial the 23rd. I feel like I have a pretty good chance. I mean, really, the opposing side only really has hearsay that they've mostly fabricated out of thin air, so I feel pretty good about that. But so they're trying to claim that I'm like angry and violent, which is ridiculous, obviously. I think I've only been angry and violent once in the last 10 years, and it was when I found out that my now ex-wife was cheating on me with a strip club promoter, which is pretty trashy. So, well, not a strip club promoter, a burlesque promoter, but you and I know that a burlesque and a strip club is almost the same thing, right? Minus, you know, licensing, taxation, etc. So, anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be benefit if anybody wants to come and testify, who knows me on the 23rd, who just wants to come and say, hey, I've known Rye for a long time. You know, I've never seen him be angry or violent. You know, I mean, a lot of people know me from the old band days when, you know, when everybody was drinking and there was always chaos and emotions were running high and stuff. And even then, you know, I mean, I was never in an altercation or never screaming obscenities at people. That's the thing. They're claiming that I was always screaming obscenities all the time. That's pretty much the cornerstone of what their trial hinges on, which, you know, that's just not me. I mean, I generally don't use obscenities anyway. I don't know if you noticed, but on my YouTube channel, I'm never throwing F-bombs or anything. You know, it's weird because even people I know who are very, you know, mild-tempered and very kind people curse more than I do. So, I mean, to pretend that I'm always screaming obscenities is just, you know, absolutely ludicrous, obviously. But that really is what the other side's case completely hinges on. That I'm, you know, they need to be able to convince the court that I'm, like, constantly screaming obscenities. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like I have some very good evidence that shows that I've been trying to end this conflict since last spring. When I first found out that, I call her Mrs. Garcia now because she got married less than 3 months after our divorce, which I believe was solely a tactical move to try to get full custody, which I hope I'm able to elucidate that to the court, because it's pretty, I mean, they're not even together. He lives in Hawaii and she lives here, so clearly they got married for, you know, just for the purposes of trying to win this custody battle, which is, I don't know, it's just a really poor example to set for the kids, obviously. So, and that's what this is all about. I just want to have the opportunity to set a contrary example at least part of the time. Hopefully as much as possible. I mean, I would like to be, you know, I was the primary caregiver for a whole year with the kids, and honestly, I'd like to go back to that. I really enjoy being the stay-at-home dad, which is a weird term because we were never at home. We were always going hiking and going to parks, and I mean, when we were home, we were on the farm building things, building chicken coops and well houses, and, you know, trying to set up a commercial kiwi vineyard and, you know, planting raspberries, blueberries, kiwis, strawberries, tomatoes, garlic, onions, raising heirloom chickens. You know, I mean, you know, the stay-at-home thing could be totally misconstrued when you're working hard on a independent farm. It's not really stay at home. I don't know, that's a weird term. Yeah, so anybody who wants to come and testify on my behalf on August 23rd, I've got a few days left to put that list together. I would appreciate it. She's bringing a whole host of witnesses, all of whom are directly related to her. It's like her dad, her new husband, her mom, like all these people. And it's like, obviously it's, you know, just a he said, she said thing. And I'm not even really trying to say anything about her. I'm just trying to say, hey, look, I'm a good dad. I just want to see the kids part-time. And I've been super reasonable pretty much the whole time. If you look at my emails from a year ago, if you look at any of my emails, they're all super reasonable. And in fact, the opposing counsel is not referencing my emails at all. They're only referencing the Facebook post where I was super angry. Like, I was supposed to have the kids at Christmas time, and she didn't let me see the kids. So I posted a Facebook post that was very angry. And now that's, you know, evidence against me. Look, he's like, you know, rageful, high conflict, blah, blah. It's like, I hadn't seen the kids in 6 months. And then she also violated the court-ordered Christmas visitation. So yeah, I was pretty angry about that. But it's just, the whole thing is just so ridiculous. So I don't even know. Anyway, I've gotten some really great letters from some friends, colleagues, family too, you know, that kind of support my version of events. Like, hey, this is a nice guy who really genuinely got screwed over by somebody who was basically going through a midlife crisis. Let's be real. She was going through a midlife crisis. I think in this society in general, and her family in particular, their self-worth and their self-esteem is very much predicated on how attractive they are to the opposite sex, which is not a healthy way to live, and really not a healthy way to live if you're an aging middle-aged woman, right? You know, you're going from peak attractiveness to less than peak attractiveness, and in some cases, you know, especially when you're heavily abusing drugs and alcohol and eating a ton of garbage food and you know, medibles, as they call it, high THC brownies all day, you know, you're going to start gaining weight and you're just not going to look as good really quickly, especially if you're going from, you know, late 20s to mid 30s at the same time. And then when your self-esteem is based on how you look and how other guys treat you, you know, you're going to be in for a rough time. And that's kind of what was going on before the split. So, and I don't, you know, if she hadn't been so vicious and cruel to the children during this process, I would genuinely feel bad for her. Really, really. I mean, she cheated on me, she left me, but I mean, she was just making poor decision after poor decision, and I just feel bad for her, you know what I mean? Obviously, with what she did, I couldn't stay with her because I need to set an example for the children. I don't want my kids to be okay with somebody cheating on them when they're married, you know, in 20 years or whatever. So obviously I couldn't stay with her and be a good father. So, you know, that was just unfortunate for her, really. But I mean, not unfortunate. I mean, she made choices and she has to live with them. I want to feel bad for her. I really do. I really want to feel bad for her. But she's been so vicious and violent and cruel to her own children at this point that I just that I can't feel bad for her, you know, because as a dad, my primary concern is the well-being of my children, who I haven't been able to see again for 2 months now. And before that, before the very limited supervised visitation that I got, which was between $300 to $600 per visit. So I'm totally broke right now. Oh yeah, so that's another thing I can do too. I will play music anywhere. I will play for any party. I will play for anybody. I'll play solo. I'll try and bring my friend Anna. We can play as a duo. I'll try and put together a version of my country band. The Leprechauns are trying to get back together too. The Leprechauns are very expensive though, so if you want to hire Leprechauns, get ready for that. I will teach anybody guitar, violin, cello, mandolin, piano, bass, whatever, folk, singing. You know, I am definitely on the prowl for money. IT work, any kind of IT work, I'm very happy to come and take your old laptop and make it brand new or whatever you guys need. I'm definitely on the hunt for money. I'm hurting. This legal process, I don't know exactly where I'm at. I think I've spent over $100,000 though at this point. I think it's probably closer to $130,000 that I've spent. You know, and that's all in. That's everything I could have possibly mustered together. That's hiring lawyers and not being able to work because I'm dealing with all this legal stuff, and you know, moving down here, and buying a new car and fixing it up so that I have something safe to drive the kids around in. You know, all the typical stuff: utilities, internet, cell phone. That's just, you know, just surviving. You know, it's very expensive to live down here in Southern California, and especially when you're going through a legal battle. I mean, it's just the money's just hemorrhaging the whole time. And you know, and I've been begging since the very beginning. I've been begging her parents, her uncle, and her sister, who are some of the only people who will talk to me on that side. They're obviously completely on her side on everything, even though, you know, there's really just no evidence for it at all. You know, none. You know, the only things that I've done wrong at all, I've like completely admitted to, and they were like super minor, you know? So it's like, I don't know, you know, posting an angry post on Facebook after somebody won't let you see your kids for 6 months is, you know, if that makes me Joseph Stalin, I don't really know what we're talking about here, but yeah, so anybody who wants to hire me for any kind of music or IT or heck, construction, you know what I mean? I can do almost any kind of construction. Not really too good at plumbing. I haven't done any kind of plumbing stuff. I mean, very mild stuff, you know, but nothing serious. But I'm definitely looking for any kind of source of revenue, especially if I can get paid in cash. It's very helpful because at this point, they're sending the apparatus of the state after me full force, and it's like, and I've actually lost a couple of jobs over that too, which is crazy too. It's like, oh, I got a job, sweet, and they're like, oh, child support services is like hammering our accounting department. Sorry, we got to lay you off. It's like, okay, so that's happened twice. So both of them pretty good jobs too. So, yep. That's pretty much all I need. I don't know. I'm just kind of an update. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good case coming in on August 23rd. I really haven't done anything unreasonable. I've never violated the restraining order. I've never harmed anybody or threatened to harm anybody. And they're trying to claim that I'm violent and high conflict. And I've got emails proving quite the opposite, which is really what my case mostly hinges on. Just like, hey, I'm just a guy who's gotten worked here. I've been absolutely worked by somebody who's very upset with the decisions that they've made over the last couple of years, obviously. How could you not be? I mean, you know, she's living back with her parents now, you know? She's living with her parents, and she's unemployed as far as I know. And, you know, her new husband lives in Hawaii. He doesn't even live here. So I don't know, you know, obviously she's made some very poor decisions to end up where she is today. You know, she did own a 24-acre farm and have a very healthy, happy family and two gorgeous kids who had never been traumatized at all. And now they've just been through so much trauma. That's the thing that kills me. The trauma that's been inflicted upon my kids during this process is just like, I would have done anything to avoid that. And I said that in email after email after email. And then they're like, oh, if you send us another email, we're going to get a restraining order. It's like, please don't traumatize my kids any further. That's it. That's the email that needed a restraining order, clearly. So anyway, man, I look tired today. I am tired. I got good sleep last night. It's just been going over legal paperwork for hours after hours. It's just not that fun. Especially when, like, you know, it's literally 300 pages. They've submitted 300 pages claiming that I'm, like, you know, violent and toxic. And it's just like, anybody who knows me knows that's not the case. I mean, that's why I've got, you know, people coming out of the woodwork to write me letters saying, look, I've known this guy for 20 years. I've never seen him throw a single punch. Not one single punch. I did throw one single punch, though, because I did punch the wall when I found out she was texting the strip club promoter. That's like literally the only violent act I've done. I punched a wall. A wall, by the way, that I was already remodeling, so it wasn't even like I punched a wall that was, you know, in good shape or anything. It was a wall I needed to retexture and re-drywall, so yeah. I was just getting started early on the demo in a very aggressive and angry way because I found out my wife was cheating on me with a burlesque promoter. I mean, how gross is that? I mean, you know, if she had been cheating on me with somebody like, you know, I don't know, wealthy or handsome or tall or anything, it would have been like, you know, I mean, I don't know, not excusable, but kind of like, you know, I mean, at least you could kind of understand it, but this guy's just like this scrawny, like, super sleazy loser. And it's just like, you know, I don't even know, you know what I mean? I don't even know what to, I mean, why? Why that guy? Just because he's a drummer and he wants to start some project where he lets you make all the decisions? It's like, gross. Just so gross. So gross. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, if you want to come testify to the fact that I'm, you know, sane and reasonable, that I've run several successful small businesses in the past, so anything like that, that would be very helpful. Anyway, love you all, internet fam. I'm gonna hit upload on this and get back to work. Start going over those 300 pages with a fine-tooth comb again. You guys take it easy.